ちゃ足でんでみんなで忘れてあるでって君に伝えたいミュージック一目見たらほら夢中に僕を満たすようなマジックもどかしい気持ちでふわり忘れたい夜はぐーっと涙をこらえるならギューッとへんてこまいへんてこまいそんなの気にせず踊っちゃおうまるで夢の世界きらりはない街明日のことなんてさどうならバイバイまるで夢の世界きらりはない街明日のことなんてさどうならバイバイまるで夢の世界きらりはない街明日のことなんてさどうならバイバイまるで魔法みたいきらりはない街明日のことなんてどうならバイバイ
Hello, welcome to another episode of Awkward Moments with Jatsu. Thank you, Twirly, for the first tier redeem, and thank you, Barry, for the second tier redeem. And no worries, Tyria, thank you for the luck. Very much appreciated. Yes, I am doing a sneaky stream today. And why? Because we didn't complete Ace Attorney yesterday, and I was so hoping we would. And I spent 6 hours, and I still couldn't complete it. We are on the final court case, so hopefully will complete it today. And this is why I'm doing the sneaky stream, because I mean, I love the game series, but I really, 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 really want to. That just put a song in my head. I think it's a Spice Girl song. Really, really wanna. Or something like that. Anyway, before I derail myself, because my brain is just like, hey Jatsu, you just said these words. Here's a song. So yes, we are going to continue with Ace Attorney. We are on the last episode, last court case, and we will complete it. I say we will. Watch me not complete it today, and I'll spend like 3-4 hours on it, and I'm like, oh my god, how long is this chapter? Because once we get this first one done, then we can move on to the second game. And then, but before we move on to the second game, I might play something else just to give myself a little break in between. And then we'll move on to the second game, which is going to be a lot of fun. There is, I think in the second game, there's a long case as well. I mean, to be fair, the further we get into the game, the longer the cases get, and the longer cases become. But they are a lot of fun, and I really would like to play through the whole entire series with you all, so that we could also play the Apollo Justice trilogy, and then obviously move on to the prequel as well. Again, like I always rant about this, I'm really sad that the spin-offs don't get a release, because to be honest, if the spin-offs got a release as well, especially the Miles Edgeworth investigations 1 and 2 got a release, we could do this in a chronological order. But unfortunately, because then, I mean, they're in chronological order already, but the spin-offs do fit in nicely, chronologically speaking, into the series as well. But yes, it's just unfortunate. But yes, I shall move on, because you don't want to listen to me ramble about stuff. Let me stop the music. So we are continuing on from yesterday. So what we have discovered is that Neil Marshall, as one of the victims of Joe Dark, wasn't actually murdered by Joe Dark, and was actually accidentally murdered by Emma, whom Lana Skye tried very hard to protect and conceal this fact from, mostly because Emma didn't realise what she'd done. She thought she was helping Neil Marshall, and thought she'd attacked Joe Dark, but no worries, Twirly. Thank you for the lurk, and I hope stitching goes well. Is it the one that you've been working on for your in-laws? Is that the one? But yeah, so Lana tried to protect Emma, and as it turns out, Gant had withheld evidence. Now, we don't know if Gant withheld evidence because he was helping Lana, or whether he was using it against Lana. So technically he was using Emma to blackmail her, to get her to do his bidding, basically. We shall continue. Sorry, Edgeworth. No, it's a random gardening scene one that is huge. I'm just doing it for fun. Fair enough. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. What is with Gumshoe? He's got the worst. Kiss it better, Edgeworth. Yeah, exactly. Mwah. That's all you're getting from me. That's just... And Barry, if you dare bloody clip it, I'm gonna murder you. Talking about sound effects. So Barry and I have been trying to find an ASMR script that we're both comfortable with, but I'm actually very uncomfortable with making like kissing sound effects. So it's been a little bit difficult, because a lot of ASMR, like especially duo ASMR scripts, a lot of it's very like romantic based, which is a little bit difficult to work with, because I mean, we're friends and we're comfortable enough with each other. It's fine, but it's a little bit awkward at times. But yes, that's as much as you're gonna get from me. Guess I am. I'll come back later. Hey Jay, thank you for stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely weekend. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Him? I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough reading. I think something just fell. Hang on. 2 seconds. I've heard something drop. Nope, it wasn't something that fell. It was just someone closing the door very heavily or heavy-handedly, and it just felt like something had fallen, or something big had fallen. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with the forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused the man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Ooh, Phoenix. Look at you protecting people around you. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honour. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honour. Oh, he's so smug about it. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses. I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honour. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defence to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defence accept the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The, defence may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright. You do realise this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls. The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Oh, we're gonna bring out Gant. We're gonna bring Gant out. I know he did it. It all adds up. I mean, he told Lana to cover up for him. He is also refusing to let us investigate. Well, he refused to let us investigate his office, and he withheld evidence, and he's just a poopy butthole. He's a poopy butthole. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? Exactly, very poopy. As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honour? True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. This baby bow. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. This fight is going to be a tough and long and arduous one. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. Oh, I wish I had a deeper voice to do these voices. Well, actually, not just a deeper voice. I wish I had a wider range voice. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Oh, you liar. Is that when Doug was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Doug bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. Wait, why did Lana get that book for us? Hang on. What's in the book? Rules for submitting evidence. Rule 1. The evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Is that it? Okay. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant's Lana Skye also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first, so Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart though. And that's not funny. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body, it had already been moved. So that means you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier it was my suit of armour that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Oh wait, hang on. I already read that bit. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable, no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd be better off staring at the court records. Worthy, always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow, I've got to link Gant to the incident. Questioning that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up and the power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Lana should have already reached the crime scene. So nothing to do with the forgery. Oh, thank you for the resub, Pixie. Oh my god, you have the golden poop! You've resubbed for 12 months! It's the 1 year golden poop! But I hope you're having a lovely weekend so far, and thank you again for stopping by and the resub. I'm sure I already had a year, so I'm very confused. Oh, really? Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. I thought you had already achieved the golden poop. So why is it that... Yeah, Twitch is being a ninny. It's being weird. Yeah, because we already had this laugh. I already laughed at you having the golden poop. But look at it, guys. Look at the golden poop. Look at its all shining gloriness. Sparkle and glory. And this is the reward you get for subbing to my channel for a whole entire year. It's a golden poop. He said that she'd already arranged the scene. But how did he know that she'd already arranged the scene? Had nothing to do with the forgery. I'm going to quickly save because I think it's one of the two pieces that we found in his safe, but I'm not entirely 100% sure. So let's play it safe a little bit. Okay, I'm going to present the jar because that's already been... Ooh. You claim it had nothing to do with forgery, but I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence are found in your office. Take this jar for example. That's the blue badger you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Dun dun dun! So I could have presented any three of those pieces. Maybe not the cloth, because we haven't shown the cloth yet to court. We'd only shown the jar and the evidence list, so I think only those two would have been admissible in court because there already are evidence. And that's probably what the book is about. Or why Lana sent us the book, so that it reminded us that make sure you only present evidence that's already been admitted to court. I think that's the words. Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this? Huh. Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Twirly, thank you for the third tier redeem. Oh dear, these guys are still battling out. Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found these evidence. Twirly, stop lying. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? Oh, I thought you didn't get it first. However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Poor Gumshoe. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. So rude. Evidence and forgery. Let's see. What was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when these pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Oh, he's such a slimy scumbag trying to worm his way out of this. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honour. When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the Chief of Police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. All right, Udgy. In return, though, I know. That place, right? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? Let's press him. Hold it. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day I once broke into a cattle ranch in Tit. Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Wright's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. Very right, Righto. He is very slimy. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not, after all it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialised the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. A chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Righto. Think about it. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Nil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Really, Chief Gant. At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would of course be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh. Oh. That's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the oh my god, I cannot say this word. Inevitable a little. Text-to-speech. I know how to say it, but my mouth won't. I don't know if this makes sense, but my mouth won't shape the words.
Inevitable.
Inevitable. Inevitable. That's the word. Sped up the oh my god. Inevitable a little. Is that true, Edward? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So, that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. He said forgery. What the hell's forgery? If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Would he do it for someone else? Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Archie, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little? By all means, please do. Oh, what's he changed to? I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. At least he's honest, I suppose. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? He would have, because it also helped Lana. And because it helped Lana, it put her in a position that was favourable to him. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Oh, Mr. Wright. It appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Oh, Judge. Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. An unfortunate series of events? That's a good book, by the way. If you want something easy, fun, and simple to read, I think that's a good series to start. Who would want to help her sister more than her own? Who would want to help her more than her sister? Oh my god. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, who would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all of this? He'll be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh my god. Judge, no! Oh, wait! You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive, to appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this, that I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless... that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about... the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Nice one, Edgeworth. Although we got there first. You're stealing our thunder. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honour, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Dun dun dun. Order. I said order. Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That's impossible. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edruff said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. In it together, hand in hand, Miles and Phoenix fighting and battling against evildoers. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through this. He's taking you with you. Definitely. Miles can't do anything without you, Phoenix. It's a must. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief or high-ranking officer of the law is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Right, I'm going to save here as well. Because I'm not quite sure what the evidence is. Oh my god. Okay. Music's so tense. Love it. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. I think it's this list. This way. This. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine, the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Sorry. Order. Chief Gant, what do you have to say? He's clenching his fists. Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations, and I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant. I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Landeskai's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. What is it that tells us? Wouldn't it be that? Not handprints. Oh. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. The Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the Chief of Police. Yet you are in possession of that report, which means you can't be sure if he filled it. Filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to use Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him. There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait. The Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. You had really lent it to Detective Goodman. It would have been found on his body. No! Oh my god, look at his the artwork for his like, no! It's so like electric. Chief Gant, you didn't. We're getting to the bottom of this. The murder was most likely a spur of the moment crime, but no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lannon at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. But the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was just a useless clue just taking up space. I know how. So they found Detective Goodman's body in the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Gant called Edgeworth to go to the evidence room or go to the police department to pick up some evidence for him to keep hold of. What word am I trying to say? He asked him to keep hold of some evidence for him. And then, obviously, whilst he was doing that, he put Goodman's body into Miles Edgeworth's car, which then meant that Miles Edgeworth drove his car back to the prosecutor's office, where Lana was waiting for him to arrive, and then her to break into the car and then do what she needs to do to forge evidence and take the blame for the death, even though it wasn't her fault. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. This is going to look really stupid presenting the screwdriver, but it is how it happened. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... He's figured it out. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbing, I brought this back here. He's clocked it. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office, but you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Oh, music. Order, order, order. What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttals to the defence's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Wright, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier. A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman, that's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. While You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current Chief of Police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright? Your Honour, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body. Do I have any concrete proof? I don't, unfortunately. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honour. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. Theurgy? In that case, this court is forced to penalise you for your allegations against the Chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Urgy, I'll leave the rest to you. Oh no. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to the senior office in our nation's law enforcement agency. What? Oh. Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honour of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honour? Have you forgotten? The defence is the one calling witnesses today. We have to call Lana Skye to the stand. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honour. The defence calls forth... The defendant? Miss Lana Skye? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution has no objections, Your Honour. Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in Hold it. Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such an outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet. He's so slimy. Ugh. He came back just to threaten her. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. Oh no. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. Haha, I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. Oh my god, can you imagine Gumshoe serving up the coffee in the Phoenix Wright office? Oh, that'd be hilarious. Oh my god. My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of news now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. But Chief, that is not the right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the Chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do. I miss why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armour. I see. Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait here? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there. Well, Lana tells the truth. Well, let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. Oh, the final bit. I think this is the final trial. Oh, well. The final half of the trial. Yes, save. And then whilst we're saving, I'm going to have another sip of my tea. I say sip. More like gulp the rest of it. Oh my god. I also don't have any of my citrus tea because I finished the last of it yesterday. Oh. Don't know if you heard that. That was the liquid travelling down my throat because it got trapped. Oh my god. Oh wow. Or more like I got some air in as well whilst I was drinking the tea. So it might be in the air rather than the tea itself. But yes, I drank all my citrus tea, so I had to make a new batch today, but it won't be ready until a day or two later. So usually I just put in the raw like citrus pills and stuff like that, and then smother it in honey, and then drink it like that. But it's a bit bitter because of the is it called the pith? Is that what it's called? The pith? Anyway, it's a bit bitter, so I decided to cook all of the pills today with a bit of sugar, and hopefully that will take out some of the bitterness. It's soaked in honey right now, but it needs about 2 days to soak in the sugars, basically. Right, let's continue. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lansky, please take the stand? Miss Lansky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Bless them, they're so sweet. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. That's a lie. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honour, I'm confessing to a capital offence. Of course I'm sure. But Lana... If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah. This is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defence may now begin its cross-examination. Okay, we're going to press her. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. At personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Damien Gant was a respectable detective, that's why... But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And... Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. Ooh. Why did the volume cut out there? I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Nana. But that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? Ooh, this might be her undoing. It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that's so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh. That was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. How'd she break it? You planted the tip of... Oh. I didn't even get a chance to read that. But they're all shocked that she broke off the knife and she planted the evidence. And so is the judge. But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. But why did you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright, even you should be able to figure it out. Very well, let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Miss Sky fabricated the knife. I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof that we needed. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Yes. Because I hated Dark for what he did. Hmm? So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it, period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. It looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up to make a contradiction. I think I need to... So instead of planting the knife... okay, it's this statement I need to press. Why move the body is the question. Okay, so we've read through all this. I'm not going to read it again. We just need to change her statement. So we've done this bit. Okay, come on. Okay, that's when he asked about the switchblade. Okay. Oh, I can't change the statement? Victim's wound, and then you move the body. Why would you do that? Put her on his shoulders. Why did you move the body? Is what I want to ask. When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for it is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Skye moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Pieces of the jar, you mean? Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient? I felt it more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed, but I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. The jar couldn't have been broken whilst during the struggle because Emma's name was written on it. So that's the contradiction. Objection! Ha ha ha. Miss Skye, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery of the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring to everyone's attention. a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. You couldn't have written Emma's name on the shattered jar. Order, order. Your Honour, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical. Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony. Ooh. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defence may now begin its cross-examination. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defence's case, but not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You're an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in the office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene? Yes, I don't have any excuses for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident. no doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Bum bum bum. I didn't have time to check it out, so Sophia wiped away the blood. The fragments are large, so I'm sure I got them all. But she didn't get them all because Chief Gant had one in his safe. So we present the jar. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you are unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about the final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you are not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed the piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that? I can believe that, Judge. Have you forgotten, Your Honour? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that! There's no way a name could have been written on the shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Hide that fact for 2 years. Well, Your Honour, can you answer us that? No! The poor judge. He's been put on the spot. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, Bear and Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. Oh, she bit hard on her thumb. No, I did it all on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. He's doing the chin scratch. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accident then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Will we finally going to get the truth after all these lies? So many twists and turns. This story is lies upon lies. Okay, all right. The witness may testify once more for the final time. Oh, actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armour's sword. Emma and Duck were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I raised all the evidence that linked us to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Just send them all to jail? Yeah, exactly. No, only Chief Gant deserves to go to jail. I feel so bad for the Sky sisters. They've been through so much. Lana was just protecting Emma, and Emma was just trying to help Lana. They're just too sweet. They're too innocent. Must protect. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword? You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. It's in the book. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright, please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana says she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. I checked it. Oh, it wouldn't let me do that. It just let me read it. Here it is. Oh. There's a picture! Hey, there's a picture here. Oh wow, it's bloody. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this, because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I'd arranged everything. Mr. Wright. That piece cut out from his vest, could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whosever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints. They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well, the defence may now begin its cross-examination. Oh no. Oh, he's come back from his lunch. How convenient. Come now, Archie. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant. What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defence. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, I'm sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you will be one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decisions. Should I present that evidence, or that piece of evidence, the one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? If I withhold it, I'm in trouble. If I show it, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna need to show it, aren't I? Yes, Your Honour. I do have further evidence. All right. The time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the chief's. Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who's actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. It's a piece of leather cloth. Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Righto has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? They're Miss Sky's. Miss Emma Sky's. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See? I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? But give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. No. It appears we have our killer. No. No. Everything hinged on that point. In the end, Lana... Oh, did I lose? Oh my god. I lost the trial. Oh my god. So I wasn't supposed to present the evidence. Oh my god, I was supposed to withhold it? I was trying to do the right thing. Oh my god, okay. Alright, we're gonna speed run this bit until we get to that bit. Oh my god, we should have saved beforehand. Oh no. Right, we're gonna speed through this bit because we've done it and we don't wanna. Okay. Oh my god, we're so far behind. Can I autoplay this section? Hang on. No, I can't. Okay, fine. Okay, so we need to break down her testimony again. Oh my god. Okay, that's fine. Like I said, we'll speed run this bit. Okay. Okay, so she's stuck the body. Okay, speed run. Okay, and then we need to... Was it this section? Hang on. Oh yes, it was. Okay. So we need to get her to add to her testimony. Why did you move the body? So she talks about the jar. Okay. Okay, present the jar. Okay, so we found the contradiction there. Okay, so he couldn't have written on the jar after it shattered. So Lana didn't know, or she didn't realise. So she's doing another testimony. Right. Okay. And then we cross-examine it. Okay, which statement? Too dark, check out. To be safe for white to lie, that's fine. Answer sign, I'm sure I got them all. Present the jar again. Because she didn't get all the pieces. Okay. We get to enjoy the music. So I like skip everything because I died. Well, I didn't die, I lost the court case. Right. So the judge felt like he was being tried for this case, but he's not the one on trial. Okay. So yeah, Chief Gant broke the jar and then stole a piece so that he could threaten Lana with it, I suppose. Okay. Foul lies, and then Phoenix was like, wait, hang on, this hunt I think could be a foul lie as well. Okay. Nearly there. Whilst we're speedrunning this. come join the Discord, and if you like the community, and here are all my socials as well. If you'd like to keep up to date with anything that I do, I mostly post on Twitter, occasionally on Instagram, occasionally on TikTok, and you'll find all my VODs over on YouTube. Also, for a laugh as well, I also have a throne where people can suggest mostly anything that's unhinged, that's fine, suggest it, but please don't buy anything on there. Please, please, please. Okay, and then this is where Gant will interrupt us. Okay, unbelievable. The body was impaled on the arms. You saw proof. Actually, do have proof. Aha. So we got. Okay, we're nearly there. Almost caught up. Once again. Oh, that's not what I wanted to check. Right, we're nearly there. It is the picture. Let's open up the book. There it is. The picture of Officer Marshall. And yeah, his shirt was cut into, but there's no blood on the bit that was found. So that was clearly cut into beforehand, before he died. Unless that's not the game logic. I don't know. We shall see. Right. Okay, we're near there. We just need Chief Gant to interrupt. And then we are there. And then we shall save. Okay, there we go. Right, we have caught up. Oh, Chief Gant. Come now, Archie. This is the poorest excuse for trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant. What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defence. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Look at him, so electrifying. Ah, so what? Do you think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall Coulson's death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you'll be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? Or one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? Cannot show evidence. Your Honour, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gant, you opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Can? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the Chief of Police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the goal in it, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit it? But surely his statement would be inadmissible because he's given up his right to make statements. I was the first person to arrive at the scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Duck convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I had 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What'd you take me for? A fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Oh. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come now, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all, but it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle, but the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Cannot show evidence. No, it's too late to show the evidence now. Besides, even if I did, it just exposed that poor girl's fingerprints. Right? Think hard over the circumstances. The circumstances? I'm talking about then and now. There's one major difference between the two. Weren't you waiting for that difference? So, Edra figured out my plan. Oh, I'm supposed to present it. Mr. Wright, this is your only chance. Your Honour, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. Evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Oh, so I have to present it. Okay. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes, at last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honour, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. There's handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean it could not have been forged? It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Oh, you're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Wright had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that. Mr. Wright, do you really know? Yeah, sure, Prince. Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well, I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... Emma? Emma Skye? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, you're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true, tragic but true. This girl really did shove a prosecuting marshal to his death. How could you? You monster! Miss Skye, you knew his fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Skye, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. And I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offence. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you're absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you asked? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. The blood! There's no blood on it! Yes, I knew it! I was just like, there's no blood on it. It must have been cut out before he got murdered. What? A contradiction? What is this fool blabbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Yes. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. It is the picture. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Skye took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is shown underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth... Wait, there's no blood on it. Since Emma Skye's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, This is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeds to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood, a jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago, that you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you prove that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over. Did we do it? Did we do it? Oh no. Oh, that was close, Writer. You almost had me. Oh my god. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Oh, he's trying to worm his way out. Order, order. What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Haji? Early old Raito here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Raito? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honour, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defence did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Oh. Did you actually think you could bet in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. Actually, last laugh's on you, Gant. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not. I admit I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean, you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Edgy, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. I'm going to present the book. This is my proof, Your Honour. Evidence law. What's that? What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Skye's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1. Evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found the piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. Oh my god, he's got a little eyebrow twitch. I didn't notice that before. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes! No! It was then that you'd approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the Chief of Police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person that could be, Damon Gant. The killer was you. Oh no, he's not broken. Oh, maybe he is. Oh my god. Oh my god. Could he clap any harder? I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been sleeping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. You wanted to reinvestigate the case. You recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand this all over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realise my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how could you get Miss Skye involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments and the glove? Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They did their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me. We're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, and believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down. Bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Ajay. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Ajay. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new... something. I didn't catch that last word. Oh no. We're at the end. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes. First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the very beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time had Gant helped me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Look at her sweet smile. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. She finally smiled. Oh my god. We did that, guys. We made her smile. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it. I needed my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky. Yes, Your Honour. You are innocent of murder, however. Although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as an accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honour. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honour. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. A heavy burden has been lifted. Well, this trial has gone on for far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty. Yay! Woo! We did it! That is all. This court is adjourned. At long last, it's finally over. Emma. Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, Gumshoe. I feel bad for him. This is the third time he's done this. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making the detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happy people at funerals. Hey, line up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Oh, sneaky Gumshoe. Lana. Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago. Was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in all that mess. Sis. I asked Scant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now I realise I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. Sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realise it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologise. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Oh my god, so adorable. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, or in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. Oh, so cute. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Why are you hiding, Edgeworth? Honestly, where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right, well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realised today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth? Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth? Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime, but they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on your own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. Damn right, Edgeworth. We were working together. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Nana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. This one? That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Oh my god, so sorry. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth? If you excuse me. There are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Oh, Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor, or... Oh my god. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. He just confessed his love. I'll be waiting for you in court. Oh, Phoenix. Farewell. Oh my god. This is why we need Edgeworth's investigations, because... Oh, I can't tell you because it'll spoil it if you haven't played it yet. Oh my god. I'd better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. Oh. And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. So adorable. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Why is Edrith the last picture? Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here's the one who'll be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright, you're the best. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Objection! Credits. Oh my god. This has been a long trial. Oh my god. We came to an end. It was so cute. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Oh, she wants to work with her sister. That's adorable. Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorised investigation of the chief's office. If we penalise you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. We love Gumshoe. He's adorable. Ah, that is the end of the first game though. Look at us, guys. This means we can move on to the second game. But first I need to play a different game. Just a little break. A quick little short game. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partners keep an eye on me on the entrance for me today. I'll show them though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, sir. Then I can just be like Dick Gumshoe. Who's next? The Blue Badger. Oh my god, that video that we had to watch over and over again. Oh, it broke. It broke. What is it? Can you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Star managed to sneak this into me. She's seen one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? It looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Wright Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. How do you eat it backwards? Or unless you flip it inside out. And then you'd be eaten upside down rather than backwards. Bum, 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 bum. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left. Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be... Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. The judge. Me and my friends, we had these sticker ideas and I drew the judge shirtless. It wasn't like a proper drawing, it was just a little chippy sketch. It was funny. And I was like, yes, I'll make this into a sticker. It'll be hilarious. I might post it up on Twitter later if I can find it. Hey, it's Maya. Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you in your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Come in. Well, see you around, Nick. We do get to see more of Maya in the second episode, by the way. So she does come back, thankfully. Oh. I do look forward to seeing her again. The second game is very exciting as well. Oh my god. Oh, we get to see a young Phoenix as well. Dun, dun, dun. Young Phoenix is so silly. Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, I brought you your tea. What's going on? He actually resigned. Okay, this is why we need the spin-off. So Miles, right, okay, so he kind of resigned, but didn't. He decided to take a long break. And the spin-off is him going on his break. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. We're not going to be able to see Emma Skye until the fourth game, actually. She won't reappear till then. It's a letter. Oh my god, that's adorable. That's when she first joined the police force, I'm assuming. It's a very cute drawing as well, this is. Look how cute they are. So young and naive. Ooh. You like the style? Same here, Barry. It's a very nice drawing style. Saving, do not turn off. And just watch the game and go, haha! We have an extra chapter for you. I don't think so, anyway. Okay, so this was the first game that we've done. Episode Rise and Ashes. Okay, so that was the special episode, and that was the final one. So, like I said, we're not going to see Emma, until the fourth game now. So she disappears to go to Europe and study her forensic science. In the second game, we're going to see more Maya. She does return. We also will see a younger Phoenix Wright as well. I can't remember what the third game's about. Anyway, actually, do we see a young... I want to click on it to have a look, but I also don't, because then it's a spoiler. Options. Okay, no options. Okay, well, that's that then. We completed the game. Thank you for joining me on this spur of the moment, sneaky stream. Let me just put some music on. I don't think I will raid out today. Let's have a look. Let's look. Is there anyone that I know? We love sneaky. Yeah, it's a sneak stream. Let me see if there's anyone that I know that is streaming. No problem. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for like staying around. Actually, there is someone that is streaming that I can send you guys off to. Am I going to? Yeah, do you know what? I will send, yeah, that's who I was going to send you guys to, Captain Marina. So yeah, I'm going to send you off to Captain Marina. They are playing Five Nights at Freddy at the moment. So hang tight whilst I send you guys off. CPTN. Come on. Okay. Why are you bonking me? Right. So, yes, I'm going to send you guys to Captain Marina. They are playing Five Nights at Freddy. If you are subbed, please use this raid message. If you are not subbed, please use this raid message. I need a fart redeem. No, I'm not going to do a fart redeem. Did the second one not work? Because I did it too quickly. Here you go. There we go. Right. Be good. All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Make sure you stretch, hydrate, have snacks, and look after yourselves and get some good rest. But yes, be good, be kind, be nice, and be awesome. But I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye for now.